Heartwarming encounter, Black Waitress saves Billionaire's daughter. Shocking truth about poison. The diner was alive with the sizzle of hot griddles and the hum of spirited conversation. Mia Johnson, a bright-eyed 25-year-old, weaved expertly between tables, balancing coffee pots and plates piled high with comfort food, all while juggling her duties as a single mother. Each day lent itself to a whirlwind of stories and laughter, her heart swelling as she connected with the diverse cast of regulars who walked through those bustling doors, but this Tuesday afternoon felt different. The smells of bacon and freshly baked pie swirled together, yet an energy crackled in the air, building anticipation. Just then, Chloe Everhart sauntered in, seemingly dazed, her designer heels clicking awkwardly against the tiled floor, as if she'd just stepped out of a different world. Dressed in an expensive outfit, her aura of privilege made the diner feel smaller and humbler. Where did she come from? What drove her here? Before Mia could welcome her, Chloe snagged a glass of sweet syrup off the counter without hesitation. She tipped it back, only to discover it was meant for another customer, a hidden toxin swirling inside waiting to betray her. The chaos erupted. Gasps filled the room, and a choking sound rattled out of Chloe's throat. Panic surged through the diner. Mia's heart raced. Without thinking, she dashed to Chloe's side. In a whirl of instinct and training, she assessed the situation, her hands firm yet gentle as she worked quickly to steady the frightened girl. "Breathe. I'm here," Mia urged. The concern of every patron hung in the air like a weight. Chloe's eyes mirrored terror, her every breath growing heavier. Mia took charge with determination. She recalled her days at community safety classes and explained each step, her voice grounding and unwavering. "Stay with me, Chloe. We're going to get through this." Minutes stretched like hours as Mia used her own hands to help Chloe, revealing her strength in the face of vulnerability. When the ambulance finally arrived, Mia felt a wave of relief wash over her. Chloe was safe. A hush fell over the diner, punctuated only by the sound of the paramedics hustling. "You saved her, you know," one of the customers mumbled in awe, their eyes wide as they turned to Mia. She smiled modestly, aware that every moment spent serving her community intertwined their fates. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Once the crisis subsided, Mia discovered a strange kinship with Chloe through a friendship that blossomed amid the wreckage. As they shared stories, Chloe's privileged life unfolded, revealing a stark contrast to Mia's laborious journey shaped by hardship and ambition. In their conversations, laughter blended with tears, moments of vulnerability breaking barriers both women had subconsciously built. Yet, just as they began to forge a bond that ignored class boundaries, news of Mia's past reached Chloe's family, considered scandalous by their standards. As whispers filled the air of judgment, their friendship faced a harsh reckoning. Would they be able to challenge the narrative that sought to divide them? Would this diner, the heart of their community, be enough to hold them together? Mia stood behind the counter, the morning light filtering through the glass, illuminating the diner's eclectic decor. Despite the chaos of the recent days, a bittersweet warmth nestled in her heart. Chloe's presence had brought a gust of fresh air that stirred her spirit. They had become friends, but the air felt thick with unspoken words, especially with the whispers surrounding Mia's past. Today, Chloe entered the diner with a heavier heart than before. The reality of her family's disapproval loomed over her like dark storm clouds. She smiled at Mia, yet her eyes revealed a different story, one filled with uncertainty and fear of what others thought. Just yesterday, she overheard her father tearing Mia apart with scathing remarks about her background. Though her heart wanted to defend her friend, the weight of familial loyalty hung like an anchor, pulling her back. "Hey, Mia," Chloe said, her voice trembling slightly. "Can we talk?" "Of course," Mia replied, setting down a stack of diner menus. She could sense the tension, the gravity in Chloe's words. They walked to the corner booth, a place where they often shared laughter and stories. Today, it felt like a courtroom instead of a sanctuary. Mia took a deep breath as they sat, trying to mask her apprehension. "What's on your mind?" Chloe fiddled with the corner of the tablecloth, her eyes wavering. "I need you to know my family, they don't understand. They think we shouldn't be together, that I'm compromising our status or something." Mia's heart sank. "Chloe, I understand. It's just hard. They don't see me, not really. Only the labels." Chloe's gaze lifted, shining with an intensity Mia hadn't seen before. "You're not just a label to me, Mia. You saved my life." Her voice quivered, breaking free from a surge of emotions. "You mean so much to me, more than a title ever could." The diner around them faded, leaving just the two of them in this charged moment. Mia could feel the raw truth simmering beneath Chloe's polished facade. "This isn't just a whim for me, Chloe. I don't want to be a secret or a charity case," she replied, her voice firm yet vulnerable. Chloe reached across the table, her delicate fingers brushing against Mia's. "You're not. But I don't know how to fight them. I feel pulled in two directions." Just then, the door swung open with a loud jingle, and the energy shifted. A woman in a flashy suit entered, her heels clicking purposefully against the floor. It was Chloe's mother, her expression colder than the winter chill. "Mia." The woman called out, her voice sharp enough to slice through the chatter. "We need to talk." A sense of dread washed over both women. Chloe recoiled slightly, realizing the confrontation was inevitable. Mia stood firm, her heart racing. She had defended herself many times before, but never like this, and never against someone who seemed to hold the world in her hands. "I'm busy," Mia replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "No, you listen. You're creating a scandal, and I won't allow it," Chloe's mother insisted, marching toward their booth with authority. Chloe's grip tightened around Mia's hand, seeking comfort and courage as the reality of their worlds clashed violently. "Enough is enough, Mom." Chloe's voice erupted, surprising them both. "You don't get to dictate my life anymore, especially not who I can care about." The diner fell silent, all eyes glued to the scene unfolding in front of them. Emotion hung thick in the air, sweetness tainted with fear as Mia realized they stood at a precipice, one that could change everything. In that moment, the fight for their friendship began, not just against judgment, but for a love they both desperately wanted to protect. Could they face the world together? Or would the fears of class and family tie them in knots they couldn't escape? As the confrontation loomed closer, Mia felt a shift within. What would she do to keep Chloe in her life? The weight of future decisions pressed heavily on her shoulders as she prepared to find her voice when everything was on the line. Mia's breath hitched as she tried to process Chloe's outburst. The diner had gone quiet, the clanking of forks and the murmur of conversation suddenly fading into the background. All eyes were now on them, the tension palpable. Mia looked into Chloe's eyes, searching for reassurance, and saw a mixture of fear and determination. Chloe's mother froze mid-stride, her expression transforming from disdain to shock. "Chloe," she said, her voice quivering, "you don't know what you're saying. This is not just about you. It's about the family." "I know what I'm saying," Chloe interrupted, her voice rising. "And I'm done pretending. I'm tired of living up to expectations that don't reflect who I really am." Mia felt her heart pound. She admired Chloe's courage but worried for her. Would her mother's wrath come crashing down? "Do you have any idea what you're risking?" Her mother's tone shifted from anger to a feigned sweetness, a manipulative caress. "Mia is not suitable. You could have anyone, Chloe. Someone who would fit into our world." Chloe's grip on Mia only tightened, as though her fingers alone could shield her from the scope of that judgment. A flicker of rage ignited within Mia. She couldn't bear to let Chloe be torn apart by her mother's words, not now when they had come this far. Mia said, her voice steady despite the fear pangs in her gut, I'm not a charity case or a phase for your daughter. If she chooses me, that is her choice. You either accept us or not, but we will not hide. For a fleeting moment, surprise flickered across Chloe's mother's features. She looked at Mia, really looked at her. You think you're some kind of hero? She scoffed. All you'll do is drag her down. You're not going to let her dream. Mia's heart sank. That burden of being the underdog suddenly felt heavy, like weights had been strapped to her chest. She turned to Chloe, their eyes locked. I'm not the dream. You are. And if you can start to believe it, then I will fight with you. Chloe's face softened, the spark of hope pushing through the storm of anxiety brewing inside her. Mom, it doesn't matter what you think of Mia. It's my life, not yours. Enough. The command was sharp and final, and for a fear-laden moment, Mia thought trouble would greet her again. Silence set in, the weight of their words resonating in the diner like a hanging threat. Then, Chloe's mother stepped back, eyes narrowed, assessing her daughter as if she were a stranger. I won't allow this nonsense to continue. You have 1 week to reconsider your choices, and after that, we will be leaving. If you don't choose family, then maybe you don't belong in my world at all. Mia felt the heat in Chloe's increasingly defensive posture. She could sense the walls closing around them. This battle was only the beginning, but it held the essence of what they were truly fighting for, a chance to choose love over judgment. Mia, Chloe started, but her voice faltered as tears welled in her eyes. Don't, Mia whispered, anger mixing with tenderness, attempting to catch Chloe's gaze. Don't let her take away our fight. We will figure this out together. As her mother walked away, leaving an echoing silence behind, Mia and Chloe sat in their booth, hearts pounding together, silently processing what just happened. Do you really mean that? Chloe whispered. Mia leaned closer, her breath mingling with Chloe's. With everything in me. But as they clung to each other, the realities of their situation loomed heavier. Had they truly begun a fight against more than just whispering families? Did they possess the strength to carve out a place for their love in a world so ready to push them apart? Just as renewed determination surged between them, the door swung open again, and this time it was not just any patron. 2 familiar faces stepped inside, Chloe's father and brother, and they looked ready for war. What would happen when family expectations met the 2 women determined to redefine their futures? The entry of Chloe's father and brother infused the diner with an electric tension, like the calm before a storm. They seemed to stride in unison, determination etched into their features. Chloe flinched slightly, pulling back from Mia as if she were unsure of what was about to unfold. Mia's heart raced. She had watched Chloe stand up to her mother, so how would she react to her father, who surely held just as much influence in her life? The realization hit her like a punch. This battle was far from over. Chloe. Her father called, his voice booming across the half-empty diner. He was dressed sharply, the kind of man who commanded respect with just a glance. What is going on here? Mia felt exposed, vulnerable under the weight of his gaze. This wasn't just confrontation, this was an interrogation. She looked at Chloe, and the fear in her lover's eyes almost unhinged her. But she had to be brave for both of them. Dad, Chloe began, her voice trembling slightly. It was like witnessing a candle flicker in a gust of wind. Don't you dare start, he frowned, glancing disapprovingly at Mia. You know how your mother feels about this girl. He spat the word girl like it held a bitterness that defined their entire conversation. She's not just this girl, Dad. Chloe fired back, her voice rising, emboldened by the fight that still crackled through the air. Her name is Mia. She's been there for me when I felt lost, and she's the person I want to be with. A heavy silence fell, punctuated only by the hurried whispers of other diners. It was as if time itself held its breath. Do you really believe you can stand up against our family? We're not like them. Chloe's brother chimed in, his tone a mix of concern and disbelief. You're throwing your future away for some silly high school crush. Mia's heart sank further, feeling the weight of judgment wash over her like cold water. She couldn't let Chloe bear this burden alone. It's not a crush, she said, her voice steady. It's love. And it's real. The words hung in the air, almost too bold to be believed. Chloe's eyes met Mia's, and for a brief moment, a flicker of certainty replaced her fear. Real? Chloe's father scoffed, crossing his arms. Love doesn't pay the bills or get you into the right schools. Love doesn't keep up appearances, Chloe. You know that better than anyone. A rush of anger surged through Mia, and she stepped forward. You think love should come with a price tag? Should it be contingent on a family name or status? That's not love, that's a contract. Chloe's gaze sparkled with admiration. Although the path before them was treacherous, they stood united, shoulder to shoulder against their family's expectations. Enough. Chloe's father boomed again, his patience wearing thin. You have a week, just like your mother said. Make your choice before it's too late. The threat was unmistakable. He glanced around the diner, where several patrons watched with bated breath, their meals forgotten. Then he turned sharply, ushering Chloe's brother out the door as they left a whirlwind of tension hanging behind. Mia breathed, her heart racing, the enormity of the ultimatum crashing down like a wave that threatened to drown them both. I don't know how we can fight this, Chloe whispered, shaky and vulnerable, yet still fierce. What do we do? Mia took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the world pressing on her shoulders. We find a way. Together. In the corner of the diner, the eyes of a waitress, quietly observing, flickered with encouragement. She knew too well what it felt like to fight against the tide, but as Mia held Chloe's hand tightly, they knew their battle wasn't just against family. It was against everything that made people conform. Would their love be strong enough to break the barriers ahead? Would they have the courage to stand their ground? As they stood, grappling with their fears and determination, the door creaked open once again, revealing an unexpected figure, Chloe's best friend, who bore news that could change everything. What secrets did she bring that could either shatter or support their fragile hope? The door swung wide, and in walked Jamie, Chloe's best friend. Her face was drawn tight with urgency, and Mia felt a flicker of hope mixed with anxiety. All at once, the diner felt even more alive, whispers circling like a flock of startled birds. Chloe. Mia. Jamie rushed over, her voice barely a breath above a whisper. I just heard everything. Are you okay? Chloe nodded, but Mia could see the cracks in her facade. She was fighting hard to keep it together, but the pressure was relentless. We're handling it, Chloe replied, her voice steadier than she felt. Jamie's brow furrowed, concern radiating from her. No, you can't just handle this. There's something you need to know, something I think might help. What is it? Mia asked, taking a step closer, her heart hammering. It's about that ultimatum. Jamie hesitated, looking around, ensuring no one else was listening. Your dad, Chloe. There's more to the story. What do you mean? Chloe's voice grew small. I overheard a conversation. Your parents, they're not just upset about you and Mia. They're scared, Jamie explained, her eyes darting nervously. It's not just about family reputation. It's about money. Chloe frowned. What? Money? Jamie nodded vigorously. Your dad lost a big client recently. They're under pressure to keep the business afloat. Your mom, she thinks that if you go against the family, it will ruin everything. Mia felt a new wave of rage course through her. So they're willing to sacrifice your happiness for their image? Chloe's face contorted with pain. I never knew. I thought it was just about me being with a girl. But this, it's about their failures too. Exactly, Jamie whispered. But you have a chance, Chloe. If you can show them that this love is worth fighting for, maybe they'll see that it doesn't have to be one or the other. But how? Chloe asked, desperation creeping into her voice. They won't listen. Dad already made his decision. Mia felt a surge of determination. We'll make them listen. We can invite them to meet me to see that I'm not a threat. I'm just someone who loves you. You really think they'll just come around? Chloe's voice shook, teetering between hope and despair. Maybe not right away, Jamie interjected, but it's a start. If they can see you being true to yourself, maybe they'll start to soften. The thought was fleeting but refreshing, empathy bubbling beneath the surface of the overwhelming cord of tension. Chloe still looked uncertain, but Mia squeezed her hand tighter. Together, we'll face them. I want to let go of you, Chloe. Jamie leaned closer, her expression earnest. This could change everything. You still have a week, right? Let us use that time. Gather everyone and show them how real your love is. Chloe's expression softened, a glimmer of hope breaking through. You really think so? I know so, said Jamie, her voice strong. We can do this. You're not alone, Chloe. We have each other. As laughter peppered the conversations around them, Mia's heart swelled with a mix of defiance and courage. Maybe they could build a bridge over the chasm that seemed to grow deeper with each passing moment, but just as the spark ignited, the diner door swung open again, and a tall figure stepped inside, dressed in a sharp suit. It was someone Mia had never expected to see, a potential ally, but also a reminder of everything they were fighting against. Could this new arrival bring another layer of complexity to their struggle, or was it a chance for solidarity? Mia held her breath, unsure of what would happen next. Mia's heart raced as the figure strode confidently toward them. The clinking of silverware quieted, the hum of chatter ebbing away like a receding tide. It was Chloe's father, Harold Martin, notoriously known for his ironclad business acumen. The air felt charged, heavy with unspoken words. Chloe, he said, his voice firm yet edged with concern, we need to talk. Chloe stiffened beside Mia, her grip tightening. There was no backing down now. They had come this far, and after everything they'd learned, facing him was the only option. Chloe started, but her father cut her off. No interruptions. Please. He gestured toward a booth, steel blue eyes scanning the diner as if looking for supporters in a sea of skeptics. Let us sit. Mia exchanged a quick glance with Jamie, who nodded encouragingly. They followed, keeping close to Chloe, forming a protective wall around her. Sitting face to face with the man whose opinion held so much weight felt like staring down a wall of granite. Harold settled into the booth, turning his gaze toward Chloe. You need to understand that this isn't just about you and Mia. There's so much at stake. Our family, our legacy, all of it. But Dad, Chloe said, her voice thick with emotion, this is about love, not just legacy or reputation. I can't pretend anymore. Not when it means denying who I am. The atmosphere shifted. Harold's expression softened slightly, but his resolve remained firm. You think following your heart will make this easier? When the public finds out, it'll change everything. I can't let that happen. Mia felt the heat rising in her chest. Mr. Martin, I'm not trying to ruin anything. I love Chloe. That's all this is about. If you can give her a chance, just meet me, see who I am, maybe nothing, he interrupted sharply. This is about more than you two. It's about the business and how others perceive us. Perception doesn't matter, Dad, Chloe burst out, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. What matters is my happiness and yours. You're so worried about what everyone else thinks. Have you thought about how this stress affects you and Mom? He leaned back, crossing his arms defensively. We had to make sacrifices, Chloe. This isn't just about one decision. It's about everything we've built. Sacrifices? Chloe scoffed. What about my sacrifices? You want me to give up being with someone I love because you're afraid to show the world who you really are? The diner had fallen silent, all eyes glued to the tense exchange. Mia felt the weight of people leaning in, holding their breath in anticipation. The reality of a father and daughter caught in a moral struggle laid bare. Chloe Harold's voice wavered, revealing vulnerability barely masked. You can't just ignore the consequences. I want what's best for you. And my best isn't tied to your job or reputation. Chloe's voice shook with fervor. This is my life. Mia sensed a crack forming in the walls Harold had built around him, a moment where perhaps he could bridge the gap between love and duty. But would he take that chance? Before anyone could respond, Chloe's phone buzzed violently on the table, the sound slicing through the tension. It was a text from her mother, demanding to meet later that day to discuss family matters. Chloe's face paled, the hope of a breakthrough overshadowed by the looming dread of her mother's arrival. I need time to think before Mom gets here, she whispered, hurt spilling through her voice. Harold's gaze locked on Chloe's. I can't let you put yourself in a precarious position. The ultimatum stands. Mia felt the storm brewing within her. Would they really be forced apart? The thought stung like a sharp knife. With a surge of righteous determination, she leaned in. No. We're done being scared. If you want to meet me and learn what this love is about, you need to understand the risk. But Chloe deserves that chance. Chloe looked at Mia, eyes wide with a mix of admiration and dread. As tension thickened in the booth, the stakes felt higher than ever. Harold looked between his daughter and the girl who dared to challenge him. You think you can change my mind, huh? Mia's heart hammered, realizing their fight was only beginning. Could they turn the tide, or was this crossroads the end of their love story? Chloe held her breath. The strength in her heart battled against the weight of her father's stubbornness. Mia's determination stirred something within her, igniting a fire that made her pulse quicken. Dad, you have to understand, Chloe began, but Harold shook his head, a look of desperation washing over him. I understand more than you think, he snapped, leaning forward. Life is not about grand gestures or rebellious decisions. It's about stability and responsibility. You're throwing everything away for what? A fleeting thrill? Mia felt the heat rise in her like an electric charge. It's not a thrill. It's love, Mr. Martin. Love is worth fighting for. A whisper spread across the diner, a quiet murmur of people leaning in. Eyes flickered from the booth to the front counter, the tension like an unrelenting drumbeat in the background. People don't just accept this lifestyle, Harold countered, his voice shaking with a mix of fear and anger. They refuse to see it as valid. Then maybe it's time they start, Chloe shot back, her voice gaining strength. You've built a life based on other people's opinions. Why should I do the same when I can choose my own happiness, Dad? Mia watched as Chloe's father hesitated, the rigid lines of his face wavering, the facade of control cracking just a bit. For a heartbeat, he shifted in his seat, caught between the protective instincts of a father and the iron grip of his expectations. Chloe, if you do this, he trailed off, leaving the weight of his words in the air. I'm not afraid of what people will think, Chloe replied, courage spilling out like an open book, raw and fiercely true. I refuse to hide who I love. Chloe, Mia began softly, feeling the simmering tension in the air. She reached for Chloe's hand, squeezing it reassuringly, grounding them against the storm raging around them. This isn't just about you and me, Dad. You need to wake up and realize that life isn't just a set of rules to follow blindly. It's about love, passion, and being true to ourselves. Harold's eyes narrowed slightly, studying them both. The anger in his posture softened, just a touch, drawing back the curtain to reveal the vulnerabilities beneath. As that moment of potential connection hung between father and daughter, the diner buzzed with anticipation, eyes glued to the drama unfolding. Would Harold take a step toward his daughter's truth, or would he retreat into his rigid world of expectations? The air crackled, charged with possibilities, then, just like that, the moment shattered as Chloe's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a call. She glanced down to see her mother's name flashing on the screen. Panic washed through her like a cold wave. "I can't take this now," Chloe said as she fumbled to silence it. Harold's expression darkened again. "Your mother is right, Chloe. We need to prepare for this conversation. You can't just put it off. Why are you so afraid?" Mia interjected, pressing her lips into a thin line, refusing to back down. "She's your daughter. She deserves your support, not your fears." The diner was quiet enough to hear a pin drop. So many sets of eyes were watching, waiting for any sign of movement, any flicker of understanding between them. Harold opened his mouth, but no words came out. The silence loomed heavy, stretching as if time itself paused, an eternity captured in that diner booth. Chloe's heart raced, caught in a whirlpool of thoughts. Would her father finally see reason? Would he fight for her happiness or remain trapped within his own limitations? Suddenly, as if awakening from a dream, Harold looked up, his voice barely a whisper. Maybe it's time to reconsider the path I've taken." Mia's heart swelled, but before she could react, Chloe's phone buzzed again, a sharp reminder of the approaching storm that threatened to tear them all apart. "Mom," Chloe whispered, her eyes darting to the screen, fear surging through her. "I have to answer." Panic swept through her, and the moment they were building crumbled into uncertainty. Would this phone call change everything? As she reluctantly pressed accept, one question loomed in the air: would the weight of family expectations suffocate their moment of truth, or could love break through the strongest barriers? Chloe's hand trembled as she tapped the screen, accepting the call. The connection buzzed in her ear, the familiar voice of her mother breaking through the tension. It was heavy, laden with worry, and Chloe braced herself. "Chloe. Is that you?" Her mother's tone was urgent, cutting through the noise of the diner. "Yeah, Mom. I'm here," Chloe replied, her heart pounding. She glanced at Harold and Mia, who were both listening, the atmosphere thick with unspoken concerns. "Are you okay?" "Your father just told me everything," her mother pressed, her voice a tightrope walk between anger and fear. "I can't believe you're even thinking about this." "I'm happy, Mom. Why can't you see that?" Chloe shot back, her voice barely under control. "Happy? You're risking everything for someone who what?" Chloe interrupted, her rising tide of anger and hurt spilling over. "Who loves me, who sees me for who I truly am." The room fell silent. A fork clinked against a plate, and even the hum of the diner seemed to fade away. Everyone's eyes were on her, absorbing the moment. "Chloe, listen," her mother's voice softened slightly. "I just want what's best for you. You need to be careful." "Careful?" Chloe scoffed. "You mean controlled. That's what this family's about, isn't it? Keeping up appearances. It's exhausting and I'm done." Harold's gaze flickered with a mix of concern and sadness. He looked at Chloe as if she was a stranger, then quickly averted his eyes. Mia squeezed Chloe's hand tighter, grounding her in reality as the call continued. "Your life shouldn't be some form of rebellion against us, Chloe. We're family." Her mother's voice cracked, and for a moment, vulnerability seeped through. "Family?" Chloe echoed bitterly. "What kind of family is it if we can't even talk about love without fear?" Tears welled in her eyes as she spoke each word with raw emotion. Her breath hitched, and she could feel the weight of the room's silence pressing down. But deep inside, a flicker of hope ignited. "I love Mia, Mom. She's not just some fling or a careless choice. She's my partner. I won't hide that anymore." Chloe's voice broke, but she pressed on. "You raised me to be honest and true to myself. Why can't you understand that?" More silence. A minute felt like an eternity. Then, she heard her mother draw in a shaky breath. "Just be cautious, sweetheart," her mother finally said, the love still shining through the worry. "I just want to protect you." Chloe felt a small crack open, a space for understanding. I know, but maybe you could try to see me see us. We'll talk more about this when things settle down. Promise me you'll be safe. I will. I love you, Mom, Chloe replied softly, her voice trailing off as she hung up. The moment felt fragile but real. Mia's eyes were wide, a mix of admiration and trepidation. You did it. You held your ground. Chloe nodded, feeling a wave of relief mixed with the weight of what had just been said. Yet, even as joy bubbled up within her, Harold's silence loomed heavy. She turned to him, searching for any sign of warmth in his features. Dad, she began, her voice faltering slightly, suddenly afraid of losing the precious thread of connection they had woven moments before. I need to think, Harold replied, his voice low. You've opened my eyes. But it's going to take time, yes. That's all I ask for, Chloe urged, desperate not to slip back into the past. Hope flickered anew like a candle in the dark, but deep down, she knew this conversation had only opened the door. The real battle lay ahead. Just as she began to draw a breath of relief, the diner door swung open with a bang. A large figure strode in, demanding attention, and a hush fell across the room. Chloe's heart raced again, fear and anticipation intertwining within her. Who was this newcomer, and what did they want? As the diner watched in astonishment, a wave of suspicion washed over her. What had just arrived to upend everything? The figure loomed tall in the doorway, silhouetted by the early evening sun. Chloe squinted, trying to make sense of the sudden intrusion. The diner's silence lingered like a thick fog, every eye fixated on the stranger. When the figure stepped forward, the light revealed a woman, her skin a deep shade of mahogany with tight curls framing her face. She wore a leather jacket and ripped jeans, a look that screamed confidence and taming of the wild. Chloe's heart thudded in her chest as she considered what this unexpected disruption meant. Is Chloe here? The woman called out, her voice resonating through the diner with an intensity that drew everyone's attention. Chloe felt her cheeks flush. She had never seen this woman before, at least, not anywhere outside her current city. Who wants to know? Harold's voice cut through the tension, protective instincts kicking in. The old Chloe would have shriveled under the scrutiny, but this time, she held her ground, finding strength in her newfound clarity. It's me, the woman said, a fierce determination glinting in her eye. I'm Zora. We need to talk, Chloe. Talk. The word sent quivers down Chloe's spine. Was this about her? Or something else? She gestured for Harold and Mia to stay put. Okay, Chloe replied, stepping cautiously toward the entrance. About what? Zora crossed her arms, casting a sweeping glance over the diner while keeping her focus on Chloe. About who you are. And who you might want to be. I know about you and Mia, and I don't think you realize how high the stakes are. The words hung in the air like echoing gunshots. Excitement mixed with fear coursed through Chloe. She could feel Mia's grip tightening on her hand, grounding her, but a silent alarm triggered deep within her. Was this some kind of threat? Stakes. Chloe echoed, brow furrowing in confusion. What do you mean? Let's just say there are people who wouldn't like to see you together, Zora said, lowering her voice and stepping closer. And they could hurt you, hurt everyone involved. You're being watched. Chloe's heart raced. Here she was, slowly piecing her life together, fighting for acceptance, and now this stranger had tossed a wild card into her reality. Could it be true? What are you talking about? Chloe asked, desperation creeping into her voice. Why would anyone care about me? Because, Zora said firmly, her eyes scanning the room, you're linked to some powerful people, and those connections are dangerous. Believe me, you're in over your head. Chloe swept her gaze across the diner. The familiarity of the diner felt like an ocean now, and she was thrashing against the waves without a lifeline. Harold, looking bemused, had re-engaged. Mia's face mirrored Chloe's confusion, yet with a glimmer of belief in Zora's warning. Maybe you should go, Mia spoke tightly. You don't know us. What right do you have to come here and scare us? But Zora stood steady, unwavering. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to protect you. I've already seen what happens when people ignore the signs. Chloe's throat tightened. A knot formed in her stomach, an awareness simmering beneath the surface. What kind of world was Zora hinting at, and why did it feel like such a betrayal to the dreams Chloe had begun to build? Just think about it, Zora said, softening now. I'll be around if you want to dig deeper into what I'm saying. The choices you make matter, especially now. With that, Zora turned, leaving the diner with the same quiet intensity she brought upon entering. As the door swung shut, the diner erupted back to life, murmurs darting in every direction about the confrontation. Chloe felt the fabric of her reality shimmering, unraveling a bit at the edges. Mia looked at her, searching for reassurance. Harold was focusing hard, thoughts clearly racing behind his furrowed brow. Chloe, what did she mean? Harold asked quietly, concern shadowing his features. I don't know, she whispered, the weight of uncertainty heavy on her chest. The battle for her identity felt more monumental than ever, but did it also mean she needed to protect it from unseen enemies? Tension crackled in the air, a question hanging uncomfortably between them. Had she unwittingly stepped into a life she was unprepared for? What choice would she make next, and could she truly protect the love she fought so hard to embrace? The moment of reckoning loomed closer than ever. The diner's chatter faded into a haunting silence as Chloe processed Zora's words. Every whisper and clinking cup felt like a separate reminder of the unknowns swirling around her. Her heart raced, not just with fear but with the thrill of defiance. This was a twist she hadn't anticipated. She had come so far, had fought against her family's expectations for the love of her life, and now emerged from shadows into uncharted territory. Do you think she is serious? Mia broke the silence, her eyes filled with concern and determination. I don't know, Chloe whispered, shaking her head. But who even is she? Someone trying to scare us? Or is there truth to what she said? Let us not lose sight of what matters, Mia asserted, grabbing her hand tightly. We are stronger than their expectations. If we face this head-on, we're already taking back our power. Chloe savored Mia's words, filling her with resolve. She felt the echoes of her father's judgment and the weight of her mother's sadness like an anchor that could pull them under, but Mia's presence anchored her. You're right. We can't let fear dictate our choices. A flicker of bravery settled in her gut. Let us talk to your parents. They deserve to hear where we stand. Are you sure? What if they react the way they did before? Mia's brow knitted with worry. Then we fight for us, Chloe replied, a newfound fire igniting within. I'm tired of being trapped by their ideals. I want to shy away from who I love. They need to know that this is worth everything to me. Taking a deep breath, she looked at her father, who remained unusually quiet, still processing everything. Dad, she called gently, pulling him into their circle. Can we talk? I need you to know this matters to me, to us. Harold studied his daughter, assessing the weight of her determination, the essence of who she was, blooming in fierce defiance against everything he built around her. Chloe, he began hesitantly, struggling to grasp the rising tide of emotions surging between them. Please, just hear me out. With Mia's hand firmly in hers, they forged ahead, an unshakable team against the tide. Around them, the other patrons kept to their meals, the din echoing life's ordinary rhythm against the strained backdrop of their extraordinary reality. I love Mia, Chloe declared, her voice steady. You need to understand that this isn't just a whim. It's deeper than what's on the surface. You're throwing away your future, Harold replied, his voice thick with disbelief. Is my future defined by what you want? Chloe shot back, her urgency filling the air with energy. How can you want me to have a future that doesn't allow who I love to be a part of it? I feel like I'm losing pieces of myself just to fit into what you think I need to be. Harold sat back, taken aback. This wasn't the Chloe he had crafted from childhood dreams. This was a bold woman ready to carve her own path. "I'm scared for your safety too," he added quietly, vulnerability leaking through his stoicism. "More than you realize." Then Mia leaned in, courage erupting from her core. "Mr. Martin, we are committed to facing whatever comes our way together. Chloe's happiness is the most important thing." Tension flickered in the air like electricity, caught between parental duty and a daughter's truth. Would he rise up to support her, to rewrite his own narrative, or fold under the immense pressure? "Chloe, love is powerful," he finally said, his voice softening, revealing glimpses of understanding. "But the world can be harsh. I can't protect you from everything. I know, but I won't let that fear rule my life or make my choices. Can't you see? This isn't just about appearances or money anymore, it's who we are," she urged. Just then, the door swung wide open again, this time revealing Chloe's mother with a stormy countenance, her lips a tight line. "What is happening here?" she demanded, walking straight into the emotional tempest brewing within their circle. Chloe's nerves surged. She could feel the heavy weight of family drama ready to crash down like a tidal wave. But before she could retreat, she stepped forward, a warrior confronting her greatest battle. "Mom, we need to talk. About everything." "I hardly think any of this is productive," her mother retorted, crossing her arms, but the softness in her eyes betrayed her heart. "We need to be honest," Chloe held her ground. "This is more than you realize. I love Mia. End of discussion. Does Mia even know what she's getting into?" Her mother clarified, flinging the accusation like a sharp dagger. "You'll drive our family apart." "I'm not here to ruin anything, Ma, Mia said firmly, stepping forward. "I love your daughter deeply. And if that scares you, then I understand, but I promise it isn't a mistake." Chloe's heart fluttered with admiration and pride as she watched Mia stand tall against the storm. "Your happiness," her mother began, her resolve waning further as she glanced between them, "your happiness matters to me too, sweetheart, but we're in a world where secrets can kill." "There will be no secrets, I promise," Chloe exclaimed, desperation lacing her voice. Before anyone could respond, Zora's presence loomed in Chloe's thoughts, echoing the weight of the challenge before them, but in this moment, she felt an intoxicating truth resonate. "Mom, you have to understand. I'm fighting for love just like you and Dad did." Chloe's mother paused, her frown deepening. "You think that gives you the right to throw our lives into chaos? You're putting yourself and Mia at risk." "Then let us figure out how to make this work together," Chloe pleaded, tears brimming at her lashes. "Let us embrace what's in front of us instead of running from it." A charged moment hung between them, a fragile bridge stretching between love and fear, family and independence. "I can't promise it will be easy. I can't dictate how others will react," her mother murmured weakly. "Neither can I. But I want you to be part of my life, my true life. Not the one you've shaped for me," Chloe urged, her voice breaking slightly, vulnerable, but fiercely alive. Her mother's facade cracked, revealing an undercurrent of love. "But what about our family? Our name? Maybe it's time to redefine that name," Harold chimed in, catching Chloe off guard. "Time to make it something different, something real." Chloe blinked, hope ignited. Mia's grip tightened around her hand. "Let us build a family based on love, not fear. We can break the barriers together." "You really believe that?" her mother questioned, eyes wide with doubt yet flickering with the spark of yearning for acceptance. With newfound conviction, Chloe nodded, her heart pounding like wild drums. "I do. We can do this. Then we need to meet, we need to discuss who we are," her mother finally conceded, her voice filled with a willingness to embark on an uncertain journey. Chloe felt the heavy lines of tension begin to ease. The possibilities of love poured in like sunlight breaking through a storm. The diner buzzed back to life around them, a tapestry of choices woven together, each thread colored by courage and truth. Chloe finally smiled a radiant, genuine smile of hope and defiance. In that very moment, they stood united. Past the challenges, clinging fiercely to love and understanding, they had begun a beautiful transformation. As laughter and chatter filled the air again, the weight of family expectations felt lighter. Here, in this diner, they had found not just acceptance but a willingness to create a new world based on love, a world worth fighting for. And as they all nodded at one another, hope twinkled in Chloe's eyes. Together? She whispered, as if sealing a pact. Together, echoed the chorus of her family behind her. They had made their choice, love was the way forward. In that bubbling diner, they realized that the journey had just begun, but they were ready for what lay ahead. Now, if you felt the strength of their transformation, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and support their journey. Comment your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.